Hi everyone, welcome to the live Q&A show discussing U.S. immigration. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, managing attorney of the JQK Immigration Law Firm in Los Angeles, California, helping families and businesses come to the United States and live their lives and succeed. We're doing our regular Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Q&A. Today's Wednesday, August 26th, and I'm happy to take your questions live on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, and live on Wednesdays on YouTube on the JQK Law Firm YouTube page, as well as the recording, which many of you are watching here on the YouTube page. If you are, please like, subscribe, and click that bell so you get more information. The more people watching, asking questions, and getting involved, the more kind of material we can put out there. So we're interested in just getting your comments, questions, and all that, so we can help people across this immigration mess that we're living through in the United States and across the world to help get you through it. So that's that. Just remember, this is just general education only. It's not intended for case-specific guidance. You should consult with an immigration lawyer in private for help on that kind of stuff. And another reminder is, if you are starting a marriage or fiance visa case, the first thing you should do is download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. It's free, 40 pages, 41 pages, excellent information to get you started with the strategy and understanding how a marriage green card or fiance visa actually works. Then after that, consulting with an immigration attorney that can help you with the rest of it. You can download that for free at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. And with that, let's get it started. All right, everybody, thanks for joining again. New people are coming in right now to watch, and we're just setting everything up. News that's happening, good news, the furlough situation with USCIS is on hold for now. But just because it's on hold, furlough, doesn't mean, as long as it's not going to happen. And secondly, it doesn't mean that they're going to be fully staffed. It just means they're not going to tell them to go home. But either they don't have the money to work on things properly in the speed that we want them to, or they might just be using this as an excuse to work slower. So don't expect much coming out of the administration. I'm not optimistic things that'll be as good because they're gonna hassle us. So all these delays that you're experiencing are gonna continue. I don't think it's gonna be much different. So be prepared for delays, and it is just the way it is. Don't expect things to go much faster in the immigration system, just because that's the nature of the administration that we're doing. YRN says, do you know if you can apply for Daca? Daca, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, is available for renewal, not for people filing new Daca requests. So if you have Daca right now, you can file for renewal if it's less than 150 days before the expiration of the card. But if you didn't have it before, no, you cannot. It's only for renewal kind of Daca, and it's only going to be valid for 1 year. So it's a big investment financially that you have to put in for a 1-year work permit and prosecutorial discretion. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do it if you are able to do it, and hopefully there'll be some sort of decision that can help people have Daca come to a solution. But that's what's going on right now. Hopefully that information helped. Thanks for your question. Okay, so we have people trickling in. We got a big group online. Feel free to shout out your questions, or let me know which city you're joining from, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. Interested in see how far everyone is from here. So if you're a different city from Los Angeles, or even in Los Angeles, let me know where you're joining from. I'm interested to see how far the reach of this video is. Usually it's all across the world, at least across the United States. But other than the furlough situation with USCIS, other than the Daca update, which was recent, there's massive changes coming with USCIS. You know, there's a filing fee coming. Thanks, Nassim, Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining. There's a filing fee increase coming for most type of cases, but they're doing weird stuff. Like, they're going to update the green card application form so that you have to mark NA as not applicable or none if any part of it is blank. If you miss a box that's not blank, they're going to deny or reject your case. It's just a nightmare. Just finding different ways to make life more difficult for people that are immigrating to the United States, and so that's that. Adnan says, thank you for keeping us updated. You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully some good news will be coming soon, because I feel like the updates are always negative, but at least it's better to know than not know, especially if you're going through this kind of stuff. You know, a question I'm going to get for sure in this recording today is just what's going on the embassies and when are they going to open up. And you know, there's no real answer. Some open up and then close, and then some schedule and then cancel. Some do certain types of visas. They might approve, you know, work visas, but not other types of visas. You really just gotta, you know, contact the embassy, go to their website, go to Twitter, and see what information you can get from there. But at the end of the day, especially for green card cases, it's really up to them to schedule it. Other types of cases, non-green card cases, temporary visas, maybe you could contact them, or maybe you could do something. But for a green card case, they got to contact you, and that's that. So that's a really messed up situation. People are stuck, you know, loved ones are separated. It's a very tough situation. That's what we're going through right now, and it's just going to get slower and slower and worse and worse. when it comes to these timelines. So we'll see what happens with all that. But you should still submit your cases. You shouldn't hesitate to do that. There's so many people who mistakenly think that the immigration department is closed when it's not. And that requires people then all of a sudden to like not file cases when they should and get to delay their case when they don't need to. YRN asks, I feel like they'll eventually have a pathway for a green card or DACA recipients only if Biden's elected. That may be the case, but you know, Obama never did anything either. So the last time we got amnesty was by a Republican, President Reagan. So I don't have much hopes for Joe Biden to do much either, other than to get the votes. They'll talk a good game, but after they get the votes, they're probably not gonna do anything. Miyat says, you know, if I got married since March 2019 and I'm still waiting for interview, ... I don't know what your question is. If it's about timelines, no, I have no idea. Like, it's just, you have to wait for them to be ready to do your case. So if there's any question about timelines, there's no real answer, so don't ask because I don't have an answer. But that's the situation with that. So yeah, the politics of it all, of what's going to happen, we don't know, you know. USA says, can you tell me I have already interviewed USCIS done, but my decision never complete, never send mail. I don't know, I think you're saying that you did an appointment interview for your green card, nothing's happened since. I don't know, you maybe contact them, see what's going on, send a letter, or just call them. Adnan says, do we need to upload what the National Visa Center website says, or can we upload additional documents to USCIS? So when you're doing consular processing, getting the immigrant visa or the green card through the embassy, you have to upload a lot of documents to this website called CEAC, C-E-A-C. Now, they'll have a list of what's there. Their list doesn't make sense. They ask for passport photos, it's not needed. Sometimes they'll ask for police certificates that are needed. So what your cases do, I don't know, I have to see what your case is needed. The National Visa Center website is pretty thorough, you should do that. But each case is different. Like some countries need police certificates, some don't. Some you'll need additional documents the embassy has not listed. So that's what makes it hard when you do on your own. I got to see what's needed in your case to upload just that. But almost majority of the things you need will be automatically listed on the CAC website, but they don't explain it well the way they want it. So for example, if you're going to upload documents to the National Visa Center, if one of them is sideways, they're going to wait a week or 4 or 6 weeks then to reply and say, one of your documents is sideways, make it proper, and then we'll review it again. And that just pushes your case back 6 weeks. And these are the kind of things you only know when you do these cases all the time. Another thing that they could do is say, you know, one of the copies doesn't look good, or you send your tax return, they say, well, we don't have the W-2, you have to send that separately, or you sent it all in one, it's supposed to be separate. And say weird stuff. So you know, do what you can. I recommend getting a lawyer, but if you can't do that, don't want to do that, just follow us on the website and then add any additional documents. There's an option for additional documents just to be safe, but sometimes you don't want to give too many documents because it may cause extra questions to pop up. Normally it's okay. I don't want to scare you to say like you have to have a lawyer, but that's if you can afford it, just get a lawyer and to watch out for it. Miyad follows up, for citizens, should I have to wait 3 years, more years, or is it counted as 2018? Miyad, I'm not sure what your full question was, but if you're saying you got a green card and you've been married to a U.S. citizen, you have to wait 3 years. I don't know your whole question. Sorry, you jumped in the middle of that. Mayra says, what do you need to fix your parents' status if you're a citizen? Well, if you're a citizen, you can apply for them, but the problem is it depends on their background. So what you need, every case needs a lot of stuff. I have a video on YouTube that's blown up right now. It's called Marriage Green Card Documents. Go watch that video. The first part where I talked about the documents you need for your spouse, replace that with your birth certificate. That takes care of that. And the rest will be the same. So look at that video, that's a chunk of it. But the main problem that usually comes up with these kind of cases is if your parents are in the United States or if they have previous, immigration violations, they may need a waiver. And you can't, depending on what the violation is, you may not be able to, in most cases, get a waiver based on having a U.S. citizen child. The waivers are based on having a spouse that's U.S. citizen or green card holder or a parent. So what your parents need, I don't know. I need to know your parents and I need to know what they did in their lives, what their background is before I can answer that. But watch that video. It's called Marriage Green Card Documents. Just, again, replace the part where it talks about the couple kind of relationship kind of stuff with just your birth certificate. Review the rest. And then talk with a lawyer to see what your background, your parents are. Schedule a consultation in my office because we got to see if they've did any violations, criminal history, and also their finances. So we got to see what those are to be able to answer that question. YRN follows up, can you change your USCIS address months after you move? Will you get in trouble? Well, when you do move, you're always supposed to go, if you're not a citizen, you're supposed to go to the USCIS website. There's a form called AR-11 and fill that out to notify the government. They have serious penalties that they've listed there if you don't do that. However, I've never seen it be enforced. So it's better late than never. Just update it, and that's that, and say I didn't know or I forgot or whatever. I've never seen it be enforced. Technically, it's a violation, but at this point, you already violated it. So what difference does it make? Just go and fix it up, so they know. This is important that the government has it. If something happens when they need to contact you about your immigration and stuff, they want to send it to the right address, especially if they send you a court hearing. And if you get a court hearing, you don't show up, you automatically get deportation. And so you don't really want to mess around with that. You want to make sure that you get that and appear in court and you can defend yourself properly and not miss a court hearing. So just do what you got to do. Go Area 11 website, update it. It's better to do that. Ushna says, my citizenship interview is on September 3rd. Will I get my oath ceremony the same day I live in New York? Maybe. They're trying to do it on the same day, but it just depends on the situation that day. There was one field office last week that did oath ceremony the same day, but something happened in the office. They had to shut it down, so they had to not do oath ceremony the same day. It just depends on what the situation is. You have no control over it, so just go and be there. Take off at least half a day, if not the whole day, just in case. Rocky says, still can't get a judge. What I do? I don't know. I don't know your case. I can't help you with that. Nassim says, what happens when your 18 months of an I-751 extension letter expired and don't receive green card yet? So in this case, this person got a green card based on marriage to an American, and it was a newer marriage, so they got a 2-year green card, and they have to file a form I-751 to get a 10-year green card. And that process, that form, is to show that the relationship wasn't fake. And when you do file it, because the green card is 2 years, it expires, and before it expires, you file for this extension. The receipt that comes for that filing acts as an 18-month extension of the green card. But they're taking so long to make a decision on these cases that all of a sudden 18 months goes by. What do? Well, you don't have to do anything. You're so good. But if you need to travel, or you find a job and they want documentation that you have work authorization, you call USCIS and ask for an info pass appointment so you can get a green card stamp in your passport that shows that you have an extension and you have a green card case pending, so you can work and you can travel. Now, getting that call, first we have to call USCIS. You're going to be on the phone for an hour, and they're going to try to not give it to you. So you have to argue with them, talk to a supervisor, a tier 2 officer. You have to fight with them. But essentially, what you, in a logical world, it's not even logical, it's like this, but in a world that's not as combative as USCIS is today, you just get an info pass appointment, get a stamp in your green card that holds you over until the decision is made with your green card. But things are not working as smoothly as they should. USA says, asylum interview 30 days before complete. Judge tell me decision coming by mail, but I never received. I don't know. I have to see what's going on with the case. Myra says they have a visitor visa. Okay, that's good, but that's fine. So your parents enter lawfully. So if they're here, even if it expired, you're a U.S. citizen, you're in a really good position. We just need to send talk. So just email my office, info@jqqlaw.com. I do this kind of case all the time, but I just need to review to see what's going on with the facts of your case. Just email me, let me know what the situation is, and I'll reply, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, if they enter lawfully, if they have proof of entering with that visa, they file for adjustment of status. If their backgrounds are clear, no criminal history, if their finances are okay, all this kind of stuff. And you want to do it sooner rather than later, because potentially a big part of the financial portion of the case, the public charge portion, may be on hold. We don't know. USCIS's guidance is terrible, so we're not sure what's going on. But if that is the case, you want to get it in now as soon as possible. So don't hesitate. Contact the immigration attorney. Talk to several people as soon as possible to get a decision on this and move the case forward. You will need your birth certificate to have proof. So definitely jump on that, Myra. Do not hesitate. This as soon as possible. Schedule a time. You can schedule time at my office, info@jqqlaw.com. But if not with me, just do it with somebody. Get that case rolling. Vanessa says, hi, if someone gets a green card and later doesn't want it anymore, but after a year she regretted it, can she have a green card back? I don't know, Vanessa. I have to see how they gave it back, and if they did a full application of the green card and they completely withdrew it, then they have to go through the whole process again. Wayon says, lawfully is expired visa, right? Lawfully is expired visa, right? Wayon, I think you're probably referring to a question I just answered about these parents of these U.S. citizens. So enter lawfully is, yeah, with the visa. And if it expired, when you're doing a case that's for an immediate relative, so this is a case that's a parent of a U.S. citizen, spouse of a U.S. citizen, or a minor child of a U.S. citizen, if they enter lawfully but then their visa expires, they can still apply for a green card from within the United States if they match the other eligibility requirements. But that's that. So that's the exception here. What's going on in Myra's situation wouldn't apply for a lot of other people if they're marrying a green card holder or their child's a green card holder, who knows. But it's really an exception for these immediate relatives that they could do that. Josero says, are they taking Daca applications? Well, I talked about this pretty thoroughly when we started. They're taking renewals, not new ones, to put it in a short way. Rocky asks, I applied my case in 2019 Louisiana. Now my case in Los Angeles court, but I still can't get a judge. I don't know, Rocky. You just got to get immigration lawyers, see what's going on, and it just takes a while. They're really backed up. 100 million cases backed up. Okay. Mr. Jose says, with DACA, if my grandparents are sick, does that apply for AP? Yeah, it can. You just give it a shot. So if you have DACA, you get documentation, translations, all this proof that there is humanitarian need, and give it a shot. It may or may not work. We don't know, but I mean, what you got to lose is just the filing fees, really, and the cost for it. So if you can handle that, then give it a shot. Because if you, I mean, there's a lot more. Just talk with a lawyer about it in private. But if you want to give it a shot, just give it a shot. It's not a bad idea, especially if you want to, see relatives. Jen says, hi sir, do you know if embassy is open in Ankara, Turkey? I tried to check online, but I didn't find it. For the most part, they're not open in Ankara. They are doing some interview waivers for some cases, maybe some particular type of non-immigrant visa visas. But for green card cases, from what I know, they're not open. We're just waiting. Vanessa asking, my friend did the application for her parents and they live outside the USA, and I filed I-130. I forgot to. Can I do that? No, I-485 form is if you're in the United States, if the foreign parent's in the United States. If they're outside, then they just wasted money filing that I-485. That was the incorrect form to file. They should just contact the lawyer and not make more mistakes like that. All right, so we got a lot of people in the group. Thank you all for joining. Wendy says, hello, I applied for an N-400, the citizenship application, and the process was supposed to be before September. Now status on the, don't look at that status. It doesn't mean anything. So when you have a citizenship case pending, the online thing will give you, okay, this happened, this happened. None of it is true, and it's all like they can do whatever they want. So you just have to wait. There's nothing around that. Just whenever it's your turn, it's your turn. Mr. Joe Jose says, thank you for the advice. You're welcome, Mr. Jose. I appreciate it. Wendy says, process that would take longer. I heard the test would change. I don't know. Everything's going to be changing. We don't know, but you really don't have any choice, so just stick with it. Akberzi says, my husband fraud with me fiance K1 visa. He was married and make fake divorce paperwork. Ooh, so yeah, I mean, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. KZ says, I just received a receipt number, form notice, USCIS form I-797. Okay, good. They accepted your case for processing. Akberzi says, my husband fraud. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to keep writing that over and over again. Wendy says, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so what should I do? I don't know. Contact USCIS, say there was fraud and you have proof of it, and maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I can't really advise what you should do. That's something me contact a lawyer prior. It's not the kind of case I handle, but do what you gotta do if you want to take away the green card. Jen says, it's the I-130. Do you think they are working on them at this time in Ankara, maybe accepting them? The I-130, rarely do they accept it directly at the embassy unless there's an emergency situation. So in most cases, I'm not sure if your case falls within one of those emergency situations, but you would file the I-130 with USCIS. Once it's approved, they move the case to consular processing on Ankara. Right now, they're pretty much not scheduling cases because of COVID-19, the shutdown. From last I checked, and I have cases there. I haven't looked in the last week or two, but I haven't gotten any notices for the interview. So that's that. So you just got to be patient. Or one thing you could do is just email them. They usually have an auto response that comes back and says what the situation is. Sometimes they'll make exceptions for spouses of U.S. citizens. My cases aren't like the kind that will fall with any exception. So the best thing to do is just email them, see if they have an auto response. YRN says, is immigration to Canada as difficult as this for U.S.? I don't know. I don't know the rules for Canadian immigration. That's way beyond my specialty. So definitely contact an immigration attorney from Canada and take a look. User 49 to adjust status. User 45, I need the rest of your question. I lost track. Ali says, what website that I can rate your firm online? Ali, is it going to be a nice thing you're going to say? I'm not going to tell you if you're going to leave a bad review. Jose says, do you play Call of Duty? No, I used to play a lot, but then in college I stopped playing video games. I'm like, you make no money playing video games, so I stopped playing video games. But I remember playing Call of Duty when I was like a sophomore, even in the first year of law school, then I stopped. Dennis says, hello sir, I applied for a fiance visa for my fiance. How's the process now? It depends on what country they're from and how it's going, but how's the process is too general a question. I really can't answer that. Tiki Taki asks, are you answering timeline questions without frowning? LOL. I'll try my best not to frown, but definitely don't ask me timeline questions. Vanessa says, I need to translate the birth certificate for Form I-130. Yes, any document you're sending to the government, almost always, just to be safe, always has to be translated to English with a translation certificate. So definitely do that. Akisha says, do you need a non-filing verification letter for USCIS? I don't know what you mean by non-filing verification letter. I've never heard of this terminology. Didar says, any update when U.S. Embassy in India is going to open? Nope. Email them, see what's going on. B. Mahrain says, may I apply travel document? I'm a green card holder. Yeah, just submit it. There's problems right now with getting a fingerprinting appointment. They're taking forever. I have a case for a re-entry permit. I mean, it depends on, you say travel document, that's a generic term. It could be a passport, it could be a re-entry permit, it could be advanced parole, it could be a refugee travel document. But in general, the biometrics, the fingerprinting appointment is taking a little while, so be prepared for that. If you're doing a re-entry permit, you have to be physically in the United States when you file the case. Jose says, fun. Yep. Ali says, I just want to thank you for all the information you gave. Oh, okay, Ali, thank you so much. So yeah, if you're interested, I mean, that'd be really nice of you. The best thing to do is just type in JQK Law Firm. That's my law firm. J as in Jack, Q as in Queen, K as in King Law. And then on Google, you know, I'm going to just type in Google. On the right side, my firm's reviews will pop up. And you leave me a 5-star even without anything right there in, it'd be great. And if you want to leave one on Yelp too for Los Angeles office, it'd be great too. But Google always is the best because they're Google. But then Yelp, Avvo, everywhere, just 5 stars. It really helps me out. Appreciate that, Ali. Thank you so much. Red Rabbit says, I didn't do my taxes with my wife for the last 3 years. Am I still eligible to get my citizenship? Well, some people use the term citizenship incorrectly, so it might mean green card. But if you had a green card and you're filing for citizenship, it doesn't really matter if you file jointly or separately as long as you filed your taxes. Now, some officers may question whether your relationship is real if you did that. You gotta have a good answer in the 1 in 1,000 officers that'll ask you that. But if you're truly asking for citizenship, naturalization, the key is that you file taxes. The joint aspect in vast majority of cases is not gonna matter unless an officer wants to make a big deal about it. So you just have an answer prepared if there's a reason why, that should be fine. Antonio on YouTube says, hey, stream here. Hey, you shouldn't stream here, TBH. How come? Let me know why. Because some people can't say some pretty bad things. So far it hasn't been too bad. But we'll see. We'll just block him if that happens. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Every once in a while there'll be some crazy trolls, but it's okay. Carrie says, at least saying, I look forward to these videos. Oh wow, Carrie, thank you so much. I cut down on these live videos. I used to do it Monday through Friday. Now it's Tuesday through Thursday. Because a lot of the same question about people asking how long things take, so I wasn't sure if the information is actually helping. So now I'm still doing videos on those Mondays and Fridays, but I just do videos that are focused on one topic that I record and then just put out. That's not live. But Carrie and Ali, thank you so much. If you enjoy it and you're following, it makes it worth it. If people are watching and they're enjoying it, it's a big difference. And yeah, feel free to leave a positive 5-star review on Google. It'll be really helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate that. A-Money says, my father commits bigamy. I think you mean your father is doing bigamy. Can he still bring him here? So I've been 17 years. I don't know. That's too complicated for me to answer here. It's not the kind of cases that I handle. Vanessa says, I enjoy it too. Well, thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it on YouTube. And the same here, go to jqqlaw.com, leave a 5-star review. Not .com, just Google and leave a review. But I'm glad to do it. I'm probably going to be adding YouTube more. Someone told me that if you do live on YouTube too much, it's not good for your channel. So I only do it once a week, and then every Tuesday through Thursday on what is this called, TikTok. But and then Tuesdays, Thursdays instead of on YouTube, I do on Instagram as well. But hey, I might jump in there and do more YouTube. The thing I don't like about YouTube Live is when your comments, they disappear, and I have to keep pressing 10 buttons just to get it come back. The way the design is horrible. But maybe I'm doing it wrong, who knows. But let's go back to your questions. Thank you, Vanessa. Akesh says, do you need a non-filing verification letter from the IRS for taxes for USCIS if you're sponsoring? I don't know why you would need that. So I should just consult the immigration in private. Your question is kind of confusing for me. I'm not sure why you need that or what's going on. Dennis says, my fiance is in Ghana and I applied for a fiance visa for her. Please advise. Well, that's it. You just got to wait till the initial petition is approved, then deal with the consular processing. I hear some mess sometimes from Ghana, so you gotta know a lot about your background and your fiance's civil documents. So it's gonna be a mess and everything's delayed and shut down, but hopefully it'll work out. I don't know what to tell you. There's no real question there. It says since you're saying fiance visa, I'm like, okay, what about it, Oxy says, hello, I applied for I-485 2 weeks before, but I didn't receive a receipt yet. Is it okay? Yeah, what happened is, first of all, they take weeks and months on normal occasions, but there was this 2-week period where the public charge rule was officially on hold, and so everyone and their mom filed the cases as soon as possible. So during that week, I had one case I submitted and we got the receipts 10 days later, and then I had another case I submitted 2 days later. I got the check cash today, so I submitted the case. 20 days ago, I think it was, and then the check was cashed today, which indicates that they're going to issue a receipt. We'll probably get a receipt next week. So almost 3.5 weeks before getting the receipt, most likely. And it's really annoying when that happens, because when you apply for a green card case, most of the time you send the case to Chicago, the Chicago lockbox, and they look through it to see if there's any problems with it. If there's an issue with the case, you didn't put the filing fee in there, the fee is incorrect, you're missing a form, there's a box you didn't mark, they reject it and send the case back to you. And so if a case is lingering, you're not getting the check cash or the credit card cash, or getting a receipt, and it goes to like 3 weeks, then you start getting nervous, because if they send it back, it's a hassle. Sometimes there could be issues with going out of status. It's a big headache, it's a nightmare. But Chicago law is inconsistent. Sometimes they'll issue a receipt within a week or two, and sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 weeks. And once it gets longer and longer, it's really nerve-wracking. And as a lawyer too, I'm like, oh, did I make a mistake? Is there a problem? And it happened with the case today. They finally cashed a check, so I keep track. When I submit a case as an attorney, I have clients give me the filing fees, and then I write the checks. 2 reasons. One is because I keep track of things, so when the check is cashed, I know which check it is, and that way I know that they accepted the case a week before they even issue the receipts. Or I also have my clients get text message indicators that's been accepted. That could take longer. But secondly, sometimes clients write a check or they write a credit card bill for it, for the USCIS, and they don't have enough money in the account, and it bounces, and it's a big nightmare. So I stopped. I said, give me the money, send it. But what you could do, Ozzy, is just, check your checking account, however you paid, and keep track of the fee. Once you see your card or your account is charged, you know that the case has been accepted. 2 weeks is normal, 3, 4 weeks. Once it starts hitting the 4-week mark, that's when I was like, okay, probably they rejected it for some reason. It's gonna be sent back to you to resubmit with hopefully an explanation of why they didn't accept it, it's rejected. But it's really annoying, it's nerve-wracking, but that's that. But as I saw some news about USCIS denied any application. Is this true? I saw some news about USCIS denied any application. No, I mean, they don't just, I'm not sure what your question is, deny any application. They're accepting stuff, but they want to potentially deny it where if you miss one box, like if let's say you have, your name is John Jameson and you don't have a middle name. So you leave the box where it asks for your middle name blank. Well, they want to make it so that if you leave something blank like that, they're going to reject the case, which is crazy. But I mean, some security aspects is good, so no one fills it in for you. But at the same time, there's, the green card application, I-485 form used to be 4 pages when I started practicing immigration law. Now it's 20, and they're gonna make it more to like 25 pretty soon. So out of 25 pages, you gotta write non-applicable NA or none on everything. It makes it really difficult. They just make life really difficult. Yana asks, is it possible to expedite K1 interview? You could try. I mean, whether it's gonna happen or not, I don't know. But you give it a shot. K. Laura says, do you have any videos on common question asked for marriage interview? Yeah, check out jklaw.com. There's 2 places actually. Go to jklaw.com, go to the YouTube page for JK Law, subscribe there. I do have a video there, but better yet, on the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook, the ebook I made, where you can download for free at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. The last 4 pages of it is just 4 pages of sample questions that could come up at an adjustment of status green card interview in the United States. At the consular embassy, they don't really go too much into those kind of questions, but if you're gonna go to a USCIS interview for a marriage case, I have 4 pages of questions that collected over time that you could practice with your spouse. It's almost like the dating game. So you ask, and it's kind of fun too. You see if the other person knows. Sometimes people get in trouble and they fight because they're like, how did you not know this? How did you not remember this? But the more details you know, the better. And one thing I really seen them focus on is they ask, that's my question above this. They ask how did you meet, and then how long afterwards you meet in person. Let's say you met on a website through one of these apps, and then how long did it take for you met in person? Where'd you go? Which restaurant did you go to? Which coffee shop was it? What were you wearing? What'd you eat? They'll go into that kind of stuff. I can't remember if I updated my questionnaire on the ebook for that, but just note that. But yeah, just a perfect list right there. www, you have to type in the www for some reason, but www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook, and just check out the last 4 pages. It'll go through that. We had a question on YouTube. We're about to end it pretty soon. It's about to be half an hour, Warrior says, answer my question above. And it's Warrior, have you ever helped citizens give their parents? Oh, sorry, Warrior, I missed that. Have you ever helped U.S. citizens give their parents green cards? Yeah, that's a regular thing my office does. Parent of a U.S. citizen. I got one approved. I mean, I do like, let's say 3 or 4 of these a year, but I got one approved in February. I had a consultation with a guy who did himself, and he had some mistakes. He made mistakes, so we're fixing it up. And he did his interview. He didn't do an interview, waiting for that. And I submitted another one. I have a bunch that are overseas. In the United States, I have a fewer. But overseas, yeah. I always have like 10 or so if I include the overseas ones. Yeah, so that's a typical kind of thing applying for parent. It's like the bread and butter kind of stuff I do. Okay, so one last question on TikTok, one last question on YouTube. Shawtalk says, how long after biometrics do they process work permit? They're unrelated. The biometrics work are unrelated. Whenever they get around to doing your work permit, they'll do it, but they're not connected. And let's see, last question on TikTok. Can you come back to the U.S. if you have a felony? If you're a citizen, yes. If you're a green card holder, it depends on what that felony is. So it all depends. That's the lawyer answer on these kind of things. We'll get another one question. Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you too. Zaheen says, how long will it take for U.S. passport? I don't know. Can't answer timeline questions. Nishal says, I have received a case ID text generated yesterday for green card. When can I expect the result? The case ID text. I'm not really sure what the case ID text is. I've never heard that before. Come on, good question. Lasalu says, how does it take for fingerprint? Okay, one more question about time. I can answer that. Tarsum says, can you get a tourist visa if you're barred from the United States for 10 years after 15 years? You can request a tourist visa with a waiver. It's called the Haranka waiver. You should consult with an attorney about that. Kaylora says, thank you, you're welcome, appreciate it. Ratasha says, when is Bombay Embassy opening? My son will interview. I don't know, contact the U.S. Embassy in Bombay and see what they have to tell you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Good amount of questions that were really good, and I enjoyed talking about it. Definitely check out the YouTube page for this, because we have not only this whole recording we just did, but I pick out the best questions where I answer the best, and I put those as clips, along with the other videos I record on Mondays and Fridays, which are not live. And also on the YouTube community page, I post samples of my approvals, which will give timeline ideas and other information that's really helpful. So just check it out, the JQK Law Firm YouTube page. You're welcome, Ratasha. Thank you, everyone. So many kind people, so many nice words. It really makes it, warm and fuzzy feeling coming on this show. Till tomorrow, we'll be here, TikTok Live, and all our YouTube people will be on Instagram as well, the JQK Law Firm Instagram page. And again, you can catch the video on YouTube. Tarsum, thank you as well. God bless everybody. Be safe. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.